So which should you carry in your portfolio? Here to make the bull case for Pfizer is Louise Chen, an analyst at Cantor Fitzgerald, and making the bull case for Moderna is Michael Yee, senior biotech analyst at Jefferies. Welcome to both of you. Louise, why don't you go first and make the case for Pfizer? Both of these stocks, which of course rode the COVID vaccine and treatment wave to great riches, have been hurt since that wave has seemingly crested. Louise, you first.
Okay, so I really like Pfizer here. I think the expectations have now been right-sized, and I think the company has the potential to earn $5 per share in EPS, and that would be driven by top-line growth of new and existing products. They have a big operating margin expansion story. They're also going to be deleveraging from the Seagen deal and potentially do a sizable share buyback in 2025. So I think the stock is undervalued at this point and poised to potentially recover from here.
And how high do you think it could go? Do you have a price target?
I think it could go. Yeah, I have a $45 price target, but a $5 earnings per share historically is traded at about a 10 times forward PE multiple. So I think $50 and potentially even more than that over time is definitely achievable.
Yeah. All right, Michael, why don't you take the case for Moderna and spell it out for us? A very nice day for Moderna today, by the way.
Very good. Good to see you, Tyler.
Yes, sir.
Three very simple ones. First, you have significant negative sentiment on Moderna with a huge short position that I think is completely unwinding and could unwind this year. We are in an AI-infused growth market. I'm definitely going to take a higher beta, higher growth turnaround story in Moderna with that type of backdrop. The second is that there's actually a number of catalysts this year. So thinking about how bad it's been for the past 12 to 18 months on COVID, we have a RSV vaccine approval coming in May. We have revenues coming on from RSV this year. That's going to be interesting with the only pre-filled syringe versus anybody else. They also have data coming on another vaccine later this year for CMV. They've got cystic fibrosis data. We got a huge turnaround on Moderna. I could see this thing rebound this year after 3 bad years.
So let's talk a little bit about that RSV vaccine. They will not own that market the way they and Pfizer owned the market for the COVID vaccines, because there are other players in there, right?
There is Pfizer and GSK on the market. Each of them did about $1 billion for part of the year. So it is a big and growing market. Moderna, which is going to be likely approved in May, so I'm looking for that catalyst, will start to get some revenues later this year. Importantly, and was discussed on the call today, which I think people are catching on to because the stock was down on this a couple weeks ago, was that they have the only pre-filled syringe, which if you actually go talk to CVS and a lot of the pharmacies, can dose a lot more of that per day. And there's a lot of economics that I think could help Moderna on that, drive share on a low expectation story.
Louise, what are the lines of business or the specific drugs that Pfizer can ride to the kind of earnings per share growth that you forecast for it, and get out maybe of the shadow of some of the other drug companies like an Eli Lilly, which has the big weight loss drug Mounjaro and others in that area? What are the lines of business that can benefit Pfizer here?
Okay, so in the short term, I think RSV is going to be big for Pfizer. They're already on the market. They're going to do some contracting this year and really boost their market share of the retail market. They're already very high in the doctor channel. The other one here is Nurtec ODT for migraine. And the last one, and the one that they're going to host a R&D day for next week, is their Seagen deal. And they've basically really increased the size of their oncology franchise. And there's a lot to look forward there. They had that EV-302 data that was better than anticipated. ADCs have also become increasingly important as a part of the treatment regimen. And so I think that they've got a lot going here on the top line that could really drive growth 8 to 10%, I think, over the next couple of years for Pfizer.